It's IBC 2023, we're in Hall 7 and we're on the Magewell stand and I'm joined by the Mike. Hello Mike.
Hey Simon, how you doing?
Very good. Good to see you again. Now we saw you about 2 weeks ago on our preview show and you were very coy. You wouldn't quite tell us what was going on, so I think we've got a big announcement.
We do have a big announcement. Your show came just about a week too early. Couldn't give you the big news, but about a week ago we launched a brand new product. Now, as some context, for over 12 years now, people have trusted Magewell for their video capture, IP conversion, and streaming solutions. But at this show, we've combined all those specialties, the experience and expertise we have, into a brand new product category with the launch of our first all-in-one production system. So it's called Director Mini.
Okay.
First thing you'll notice right away, it's incredibly portable.
Yeah.
It can be battery powered, and it is all controlled by a touchscreen interface. So it combines multi-input switching, graphics, streaming, recording, and monitoring, all in this box. And the idea is to make it really simple for a single operator to create sophisticated multi-camera productions for things like live event coverage, remote contribution feeds, all that sort of thing, all from one device. So, it's also camera mountable. There's a 1/4-inch thread on the bottom. We'll be looking at this one right on the camera here. But the same camera operator can also be the director and the producer all at the same time. Now, what makes this product really unique is its input source flexibility.
Okay.
We have HDMI inputs, we have USB inputs, but it can also take IP sources. This is our strength in IP conversion. So you can be bringing in SRT feeds, RTMP feeds, NDI, mixing that with all the signals that you have. Also bring in media files, video files, audio files, images, all of that, and be switching freely between all of it. And we'll show that here in a second. So audio-wise, of course, audio is just as important as the video. We have analog audio inputs and outputs, all the embedded audio. You could hook up a USB audio mixer, all of that on the device.
Wow.
So I'll show the interface here where we've got some video sources hooked up. So this is the main interface where we can create scenes that combine all the different video sources we have. So what we're seeing here, this is this camera feeding in on HDMI 2.
Okay.
That's an NDI source from the NDI camera over on that side as well. And one of the really cool things with NDI is we can also bring up PTZ camera controls. So the same operator can be controlling the camera from the same interface. Again, making it really easy for one person. Now, things like switching and that sort of thing are obviously par for the course. Where we start having a lot more fun is some of the production features that are built in. And we got some sports footage going in the background. So, why don't we start with, doing some telestration like we would on a sports broadcast. But on top of that, we have lots of graphic overlay capabilities, including things, turn on the graphics there, including things like a live scoreboard that can be counting down. I can bring up the scoreboard panel. Now, every time somebody scores, I can increment the score automatically. That's all going out on the live production.
So that's a feature built into
That's built right into the unit.
It's not an external input.
No external inputs.
No character generators, no...
The character generator is part of it right in here already.
And it's, in terms of the color scheme and the design...
Fully customizable. Okay. Fully customizable. So I can actually pop this up and edit it and control even the style and template that I'm using for the scoreboard, different formats. On top of all of that, I can also add lower thirds for titles. I can add scrolls and crawls if you wanted text bulletins going across the top. All of that can be done right within the unit itself. Chroma keying if you wanted to remove something from the background.
Wow.
And one of the other features that I'll get back to that in a second, because now we're talking about what you can do to the video.
Yeah.
Where can it go from here?
Yeah.
Well, first thing is streaming.
Yep.
So all of the popular platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, are all built in with presets. And one of the really cool things too is if you're streaming to any of those platforms and people are commenting on the video, you can actually bring in the live comments on screen so you can be seeing it while you're working.
Okay.
On top of all of that though, let's say you want to use this as a contribution device for feeding a remote production system. We can output SRT, or if you want to be feeding a local IP-based workflow for local production, you can be feeding NDI. So all of those are output possibilities that can be done straight from the device. There's also a USB-C input on the back of it. So if you want to hook it up to a monitor, you can adapt that to HDMI for local in-venue display as well.
Okay.
Last but not least, on the output side, we can be recording to files on local storage that's built into the device, or onto an SD card. There's an SD card slot,
Right,
or
okay.
onto a USB drive. And one of the things we just added right before the show that was pretty cool is ISO recording. So you could be recording the full program out.
I was going to ask about that.
You could record the full program out as well as one of the camera feeds, for example.
Right. And in terms of internal storage, what have you got on there?
It's 64 gigs,
okay.
which at streaming bit rates is,
more
plenty,
than enough.
More than enough.
Yeah.
And the idea is you can also be using that same storage for, this is a pre-recorded video clip. Obviously, we don't have a hockey rink here at the moment. That'd be fun though. But so you can combine the pre-recorded clips and so forth. It'll automatically split the file if it needs to, and then you can export it onto your permanent storage after the production.
Wow.
So that's Director Mini in a nutshell. And as I said, all the production capabilities you mentioned, telestration, graphics, streaming, recording, monitoring, all in one.
So who do you see using this?
A lot of small production companies have been really interested in this, obviously. I mean, there's a lot of independent producers out there, even, the 1 or 2 man crews that like to go out and do this sort of thing. We're also getting a lot of demand, though, from, smaller sports organizations, houses of worship, where there's a volunteer who's doing the production. Rather than having a separate switcher and everything else, they can do it all in one. And there's also another tool I didn't show you yet, too, that, let me just unlock the phone. While all of this can be done from the device, you can also be controlling it from the mobile app. So there's a mobile app, or you could use it as a mobile camera source. So this is yet another feed that we can be bringing in here. If I switch to the mobile.
Wow, look at that.
There's Simon on the screen with a mobile camera source. But in addition, you can control the scoreboard, you can control the audio mixing and all that sort of thing from this. So if you do have a second operator, they can take some of the load off the first one and be using it from there. So we're seeing markets in public safety, live events, houses of worship, as I mentioned, sports, entertainment. The demand on this has been incredible. We announced it about a week ago, and I mean, it's doing a flood of people coming through to see it.
Yeah. What's the battery drain like on it? Is it fairly juicy, or?
Well, the great thing is, so we don't include the batteries. You can choose how powerful you want the batteries to be.
Okay.
So on this unit, I've got fairly small batteries, so this will last me 2 or 3 hours. They're hot swappable though. So it'll drain one battery first, and when one's down, you can swap it. You could be running for 24 hours just by continually swapping batteries. We got a pretty beefy battery on this, so they're standard NPF style batteries, so as much juice as you want to throw at it.
And I guess with a camera like this, you could take a D-tap adapter and...
You could as well. So all sorts of powering options for this.
So what's the rough retail price on it?
Retail price, US pricing is about $1,300.
Okay.
And we actually started shipping this right away when we announced it. So we've got this in dealers and distributors already. So our authorized network of global resellers, they're available now.
Fantastic. Where can people find out more information, Mike?
On our website, we've got a ton of information, magewell.com. And we're going to be releasing more tutorial videos and that sort of thing as well to give people a real sense of this. And obviously, I mean, seeing it on your show is going to be a big step in that direction as well.
Nice. It's amazing, the flexibility of it. It's incredible. Mike, thank you very much indeed. Now, we're going to be doing one other video on here as well.
We will be.
So stay tuned for that one. Do look it up on the channel. Until then, though, do check out the Magewell website for its amazing little box. You really must see it. If you're at IBC, do come to Hall 7A44.
Correct. Thanks again, Simon.
Thanks you. For everything else we're doing at IBC, check out kitplus.com.